I was recently name-checked in Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' recent filing against Justin Baldoni in Wayfarer Studios.
Candace Owens was in for a surprise when she found out that her name had been dragged into the legal battle between Hollywood's golden couple, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, and actor-director Justin Baldoni.
Well, joke's on him, because I have now been name-checked in this lawsuit.
But instead of being intimidated, she took it in stride, laughing at the absurdity of the situation.
Like, what am I guilty of here? What am I guilty of here?
A Christmas gift, she called it, adding that she could probably retire now that she had officially rattled the elite.
Just read through this. We showed the public that's what you're doing. So I don't understand why I got name-checked here. And then just to say, predictably, the media outlets picked up the same narrative. They're like, they got me out here looking like Regina George when she cuts her shirt.
To her, the idea that a couple as powerful as Lively and Reynolds would include her social media posts in a multimillion-dollar lawsuit was nothing short of laughable.
And then just to say, predictably, the media outlets picked up the same narrative. They're like, they got me out here looking like Regina George when she cuts her shirt. And then everybody just starts cutting their shirts. It's like, no, I'm just telling the truth.
Owens was simply commenting on public information.
Judge Lehman of New York instructed both of the parties of the suit to submit a proposed protective order. I think the deadline he gave them was March 10th for a proposed protective order.
Yet they seemed desperate to control the narrative, even if it meant trying to silence her.
A pretty strong argument, because they're saying, we're just like to remind the public that it was clearly her team who leaked private text messages and leaked emails without any due process at all to the New York Times. So why are they coming at us pretending that, like, oh, such a thing could potentially ruin careers, when it seems like that's exactly what you were doing when you released these messages that only you had?
On March 10th, Lively's legal team made a bold move. They filed for a protective order.
And it reveals that actually Taylor Swift was LOLing with Blake Lively about being a dragon. She's like, yeah, I'm a dragon.
Now, protective orders aren't uncommon in high-profile cases.
See up here, leading the pack of people, like, because, like, what, we're psychotic and we're checking your filings every day. And we said, oh, look, yeah, she's filing for more protection to protect, she thinks it's confidential documents. We just read through this. We showed the public that's what you're doing.
But this one had a suspicious twist.
I find this to be hilarious because they are doing the exact opposite. They are actually protecting incredibly powerful individuals. Like I said, I see right through this. This is the Taylor Swift protection order.
The request wasn't just to keep details private. It included an attorney's eyes only AEO designation.
Because that's what she has told people in interviews. She's opened up about the fact that she struggles for equality, all of the struggles that she faces on behalf of trying to stand up as a woman.
What does that mean? It means that even Justin Baldoni, the defendant, wouldn't be allowed to see certain evidence being used against him.
Well, Blake Lively's team is essentially requesting the right for their attorney to just designate that AEO, attorney eyes only, because that might unfairly harm the reputation of Taylor Swift.
Owens didn't mince words, calling it shady and manipulative.
Lively, and she is currently under a media assault because suddenly people are realizing that she's maybe not a nice person at all.
Blake wants to control what information gets out while keeping the most damning details hidden, she argued.
Yeah, hey, genius lawyer, that defeats your whole argument. It means the public already knows who these people are, okay? So you're sitting here saying you gotta protect them. We know who they are because of your filing.
And as if that wasn't suspicious enough, Lively's team tried to justify the order by claiming it was to protect third parties, like Taylor Swift.
Words coming in from the celebrities at the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary, asking why Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds were even there.
This raised more eyebrows.
Essentially, I walked you through the New York Times metadata and showed you that this woman had posted on X and essentially just, like, blared it out to the world.
What did Taylor Swift have to do with any of this? Owens and others had a field day with this excuse, joking that Swift was probably texting Lively about taking over Hollywood just for fun. The hypocrisy was glaring. Blake had no problem leaking private messages when it benefited her, but now, suddenly, privacy was her top concern?
No, I'm just telling the truth, and I don't understand what your problem is with me other than the fact that I am under your skin. I'm so excited. I'm under their skin.
As the lawsuit gained media attention, press wasted no time in painting Owens as part of a coordinated attack against Lively.
Z reported that Blake Lively has told people that there were multiple reasons that Justin Baldoni made her feel uncomfortable. It's a feminist buzzword. Uncomfortable on set of It Ends With Us.
Blake and Ryan's legal team even attempted to link her to Baldoni's defense team, insinuating that she was actively working to damage Lively's reputation. One of Owens' tweets became a key piece of evidence in court. Late last night,
I find this to be hilarious because they are doing the exact opposite. They are actually protecting incredibly powerful individuals. Like I said, I see right through this. This is the Taylor Swift protection order.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds filed a protective order to hide confidential documents. This, according to Lively's lawyers, proved she was part of an orchestrated smear campaign. Owens' reaction? Pure sarcasm. I had no idea I was secretly related to Justin Baldoni, she joked. The idea that a single commentator, discussing public information, could be seen as a serious threat to Hollywood elites was laughable. But instead of backing down, she doubled down, vowing to keep exposing what she saw as blatant hypocrisy. And then, there was Ryan Reynolds. The self-proclaimed good guy of Hollywood was suddenly caught playing both sides. On one hand, he was standing by his wife, supporting the lawsuit's claims that they needed special legal protections due to the traumatic nature of the case. But on the other hand, he was out there making light of the entire situation on national television. His appearance on Saturday Night Live's 50th anniversary special was a cringe-worthy moment. "How's it going?" "Great." "Why?" "What have you heard?" he joked, seemingly mocking the lawsuit itself. Owens wasn't impressed. If your wife is truly traumatized, you don't go cracking jokes about it on live TV, she said bluntly. The internet wasn't impressed either. Soon, Reynolds was hit with a wave of backlash, earning nicknames like Fake Lively and Crying Ryan.
He was involved in this to some extent. There was a meeting at their apartment at which you allege that there were some senior production people who witnessed him allegedly berate Justin Baldoni to the point where these third parties felt upset that they didn't do more to stand up for Justin, that they thought Ryan Reynolds was so abusive. I think he would say, I was standing up for my wife who'd been sucked harassed by this guy and so on. But what role did he have in all of this?
Well, arguably, for the first time at the premiere, you find out that Blake Lively tells people that all of a sudden he wrote a scene in the movie. I mean, shocking everybody, shocking Sony, shocking the production staff. It's the first time they're hearing it. And, Justin handles that really, really well and doesn't want to say she's a liar or doesn't want to say that's inappropriate or doesn't want to say that's part of someone else's job. And he treats her very well.
The same man who was pushing for legal protections was now publicly making fun of the situation.
Modern feminism is an army of spoiled brats who have never lived through anything at all in their entire lives. And so they sort of create this fantasy that they're part of some cosmic struggle. I'm a modern feminist and I'm struggling against this or that.
The hypocrisy was too obvious to ignore.
And in her complaint, the thing she's bitching about is that this terrible PR campaign that was opened up against her hurt sales of her liquor brand and her hair care products.
Owens then turned her focus to Hollywood's so-called feminism, calling it exactly what she believed it was, fake. She argued that Lively was using the feminist movement as a shield while actually manipulating public perception for her own gain. According to Owens, modern feminism in Hollywood wasn't about equality anymore. It was about power, control, in this case, avoiding accountability. If Blake was truly a victim, why was she the one leaking private messages to smear Baldoni? And why was she suddenly demanding privacy only after things started turning against her? Owens pointed out the contradiction. Real victims don't fight transparency. They welcome it. First, the mainstream media rushed to Lively's defense, spinning the narrative of Blake the brave survivor. But as journalists started digging deeper into the court documents, things didn't quite add up. If Blake wanted transparency, why was she so desperate to keep documents sealed? If she was traumatized, why was her husband joking about it? This lawsuit was about justice. Why did she strategically leak texts before the case even began? Legal experts started speaking out, calling Lively's arguments weak and contradictory. The lawsuit wasn't holding up, and her team seemed desperate to keep the truth from coming out. And then there's the date everyone is waiting for, March 10th. That's when the judge will decide whether Blake Lively gets to keep everything hidden or if all evidence will be made public. If the judge rules against her, everything, emails, messages, and court filings could be exposed. Owens predicted that Lively and Reynolds were terrified of this, which is why they were fighting so hard to control what the public sees. Even Taylor Swift wasn't spared from Owens' commentary. She questioned why Swift's private messages were even part of this lawsuit and speculated that if those texts were revealed, they might expose just how much of this case was pre-planned. Owens, never one to miss an opportunity for sarcasm, joked that she was now officially part of Swift's legendary Easter egg lore and wondered if her involvement would end up referenced in one of Swift's future songs. But if anyone thought this legal intimidation would silence Candace Owens, they were wrong. She made it clear she wasn't afraid of Hollywood, its elite, or its legal games. In her view, Blake and Ryan weren't mad because people were spreading lies. They were mad because people were telling the truth. And instead of silencing her, they had only given her more ammunition. Owens ended her video with a warning. This isn't over. Not by a long shot.